Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a 101 tutorial on Ruin of the Gods, also known as Guild versus Environment. I think a lot of players don't know how to play this game mode, which is completely reasonable because the tutorial on it is not very good, to say the least. But hopefully I can help you out and understand a little bit of what's going on in here to help you and your guild progress, get some higher scores, and just be better at this game mode in general. So let's get into the video. So the thing that we're going to be talking about in this video is just the three different tiles that we have here. We will talk about mini bosses and the main boss in a separate video. But for now, we're just going to be talking about these tiles, okay? So the very first tile that is available to you is these blank tiles, right? And what these are called are small relics. They don't give you any kind of benefit in this game mode other than opening up other tiles. So as you see here, this tile is kind of highlighted and this one is dim. So you can't access this tile. You can't fight it, right? You can only fight the tiles that are highlighted. So if I were to beat this small relic tile, it would open up this tile here, which is a different type of relic. So that's all the small relic does. These other relics, which are called medium relics, they give you a little bit of a boost to your overall stats. So they have specific requirements in here. All of the enemies are of the water element. And then it also says, this relic possesses element restrictions that cannot be lifted. Hero elements on the battlefield cannot be duplicated. So if we were to click on that, all we're able to see is you can't have the same element hero. So if I want to pick Guan Yu, I can't pick other green heroes. I have to have one of each. So I have to have a fire or a water, or a dark or a light. So that's all that means, okay? So if you were to beat this relic, what you'll see is on your battlefield info, these ancient relics and medium relic is what we have seen here. They give you a extra stack of this exhortation, they're saying. So we have 6 right now, and what that means is we get an extra 1% on all of our heroes' attack and crit damage and defense. So these kind of add up. A lot of people don't value these medium relics, but they should. 6 extra percent attack, 6 extra percent crit damage and defense really go a long way, and it can stack all the way up to 50%. So do not sleep on these medium relics. They're also a lot easier to clear than these ancient relics. So ancient relics, there's 50 of them in each stage. They usually have the harshest requirements, and the enemies in them are very strong. They're usually light and dark heroes. But they unlock something really unique, which is called talents. So as you see here, there's 3 separate stages, and this is showing the amount of ancient relics needed to unlock this. So as soon as you get 10 ancient relics, you'll get to choose between one of these 3 talents. So Thunder Punishment grants a bonus turn to all of your team members after launching 12 total attacks. And then this only triggers once per round. So if you have like 24 attacks in a round, which seems high, but it's not impossible, it only triggers one time. You can't just get a bunch of extra turns in that round. But this is the most used talent at level 10. Kiss of Death used to be used a lot, but it really is outclassed by Thunder Punishment nowadays with all of the bonus attacks and extra attacks that are available to you and in certain team compositions. But Kiss of Death is useful if you don't have specific heroes, if you're in a lower guild or something like that, and you're relying more on negative effects. This is a pretty good talent. It says attacks increase the chance of a bonus turn to 10% per negative effect affecting the target. All this means is if you have like 3 negative effects on somebody and you attack the enemy that has those 3 negative effects, you'll have a 30% chance to get a bonus turn from the hero that just attacked that enemy. So it is a good talent, but again, completely outclassed by Thunder Punishment. And then Battle Spirit Unleashed says at the start of the battle, you get an increase of 50% attack, crit damage, and speed, and then it decreases 5% for each turn. This is really not a good talent. It is outclassed by Thunder Punishment and Kiss of Death. There's no reason to do this. If it was per round, it might warrant looking into, but right now I would just completely avoid this. Pick either between Thunder Punishment or Kiss of Death. So we'll use Thunder Punishment for one of the teams that we're going to end up showing you. But just to continue on this Ancient Relic discussion, you open up some pretty strong ones here. So Berserk Spirit just gives your heroes 20% attack, 20% speed or defense. Blood Curse takes down one of the mini bosses that we're not discussing in this video by a full percent. This doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, it does, especially when you're in the higher levels. This deals like 500,000 damage just as soon as you start the match. You can restore health of your heroes. You can go in and read these, but the important thing is if you unlock all 50 Ancient Relics, which are available on the map. So right now we have 17 of 50. You will unlock the last talent, which is a really big boost to your entire team. So what our guild tends to do is, if you see the rank of the people that have hit, so right now we have 19 people that have hit. I haven't hit yet, but some of the players that are maybe more PvP focused and they don't have the right PvE heroes built, will have them attack these smaller relics or these medium relics to help the team, and then we'll have our specifically focused members go after Ancient Relics. So this is usually where I fall in line, is some of these medium relics and Ancient Relics are the relics that I will specifically attack. And then the other players are really boss focused. So they'll go after bosses like the water boss, the light boss, the fire boss. You'll see here, like, this is our go-to guy for the water boss. He can clear the water boss in one shot, which is absolutely amazing. Really cool team. He's our top performer because he can clear the water boss in one shot. So whenever the rankings are done, he'll be at the top of the list. One thing that I do want people to understand, though, in Guild versus Environment, a lot of people really get caught up on these individual rankings because of the individual rewards. These little chests and stuff that you get for being the top performer in your guild are not important. I can't stress it enough. People should not worry about their individual guild ranking. What matters from a reward standpoint is everything to the right of these chests. And if you see, like, even if you're the lowest performer, the only thing that is different is you get less meal coupons, and that's 4 less. So it's 200 energy. You guys shouldn't be fighting with each other within your guild, like stealing attacks on bosses where you get most of the points. The more important thing is to figure out who is best suited in your guilds to deal a lot of damage on bosses. If they have specific units like Light Ophelia, really good for boss scores. You need to figure out the people that can clear Ancient Relics with a high efficiency. I'm not even one of those people. Like, this is not my strong suit. I'm going to be in the bottom 10 scorers in my guild. but I play an important role. I pathfind, I clear medium relics, and then I help with ancient relics. Everyone has a role. One role is not more important than the other. Every role is equally important. So just keep that in mind when you guys are, planning with your guilds. Okay? So we're going to talk about some teams here, especially with ancient relics, because those are the most important tiles to clear, just because the talents are very, very valuable. So as you see here, Dux was able to clear this on stage 10 with one team, which is really efficient. You only get 2 keys per day, so you get 2 attacks, and then you get an extra attack if you kill a mini boss. So as you see here, our mini boss for water was already killed, so we did get an extra attack. I will say that these extra attacks, they don't go away, right? So if I use my 2 of 2 attacks, I don't need to use this extra attack today. I can let them stack up and use them, all at once on higher levels if our guild needed to. So you need to be sure to get your 2 attacks in each day because they do not stack. If you miss 2 attacks, it doesn't go like 4 attacks, like 4 over 2. You need to use your 2 attacks or they are wasted. So if you have a performer like Dux here, who is able to 1 key an ancient relic, he can use another key on another ancient relic and clear 2 ancient relics with just 2 keys. So that is really efficient, but that is really hard to do unless you have specific teams or if you have the right gear, really strong accounts. So if you can't do that, don't worry. I'm going to show you 2 different types of ways that you can help with ancient relics, especially if you're in a guild that can't do single key clears, which I think is very rare. Only the top 5% of guilds can probably do that. So if you look at Dux's team here, what he's using, we'll explain it, and then we're going to use, similar teams to go in and try and show you how to do these ancient relics, okay? So I've talked about Cordelia in the past couple videos recently about how she's just absolutely amazing in guild versus environment, and this is the reason why she is part of teams that can do single key clears. She is the main piece here. She pairs extremely well with Guan Yu and Flarence, which gives bonus attacks, which is going to be triggering Guan Yu. And here he has an A2 Doomweaver Valeria, which I'm sure a lot of people won't have. I don't either, so I'll be able to show you a different team. But Doomweaver Valeria has bonus attacks at the end of round, which also trigger Guan Yu. So you're getting a lot of different aspects and synergies with Dux's team here, which is what allows him to do that 1 key clear. It's very impressive. So I will show you a version of something that we'll try and accomplish here. As you also see here, the ancient relics have different heroes or enemies and different limitations. So that's a Lightwing Zac tile, that's a Lightwing Zac tile. Those are usually known to be some of the hardest and take specific heroes to clear. This one is different enemies, but I think it's the same restrictions. So that was 2 positive effects. This is also 2 positive effects. Yeah, okay, so these are all the same restrictions. I'm trying to show you that the restrictions are different somehow. It's also 2 positive effects. So maybe it's kind of limited. Okay, so here, healing is reduced by 100%. And I think there's one other one, but I can't think of it right now. It might just be 2. So for this team, we'll go in and we'll show you, a sample team of what's going on. So for us, what we're doing is we're going to utilize this Thunder Punishment talent, right? Which after 12 attacks, we're going to get an extra turn. So this is really important with our team. So if we can trigger 12 different attacks, we'll grant ourselves a bonus turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Guan Yu. He's going to get bonus attacks, which go towards our talent of getting 12 stacks. We're going to bring in Cordelia, and then we're also going to bring in Flarence. So Flarence grants bonus attacks, and it also keeps our heroes healed. We're actually going to switch her gear into a shield set, so we get some additional boost to our survivability instead of speed, because it's not as important. And then here, what we can do is we can either bring in Divine Yolanda to try and one-key this, or we can stick with the focus of singling out one individual enemy and show you what a 2-key would look like. I think right now what we'll do is we'll bring in Divine Yolanda and see if it's possible. But here, what we're doing is a bunch of bonus attacks, triggering Guan Yu, activating our Cordelia to maximize the amount of damage that we're getting out of Guan Yu. So, if you look here, these enemies have a lot of health. But because we have heroes like Guan Yu and Cordelia, Cordelia is going to severely limit the defense on these heroes, so you're going to be dealing a lot more damage than you would normally if you didn't have Cordelia's morph on one of these heroes. So this strategy, the boss, the mini-boss in these relics, this one is Marion Shadowblood, is going to have the highest health. But because you have heroes like Divine Yolanda, who has an ultimate ability that balances health, what you're going to do is you're going to focus down the hero with the lowest health, and then you're going to use Divine Yolanda's ultimate to balance the health of the lowest health enemy with the highest health enemy. So, with all that being said, we're going to go in and we're going to just attack these enemies like so. We'll use a little bit of stun on Marion Shadowblood, as she can be a little bit of an issue. And we already know that Raven is the lowest HP hero. So we're going to morph her, do that bonus attack, and you see right there, we dealt 150,000 damage to this hero alone. So we're doing a crap ton of damage. You see, we're kind of just like melting this hero away. So we're going to just stick with this. As you see here, this is the talent that we chose, which is that Thunder Punishment, right? It was that 12 attacks. So once we trigger 12 different attacks, you'll see that we'll get a bonus turn. That is what allows us to loop back around to Cordelia a lot to make sure the morph stays up. So here's our bonus attacks. We go in with our Guan Yu. Our health is completely fine. So we're at 10 attacks right now, but after Flarence goes, Guan Yu is going to trigger his bonus attack because Flarence still has her bonus attack buff up, and we will get those bonus turns. So there's our bonus turn. So we're just going to keep jamming in, keep proccing the Guan Yu. One thing that we need to be a little careful of is making sure that we don't do too much damage. So because we're close here, we'll start attacking other heroes or other enemies because we don't want to kill the lowest health hero here. We want to make sure that that hero is alive by the time we loop back around to Divine Yolanda. So, now that Divine Yolanda is looped back around, we're going to take Raven's health, ultimate on the Marion Shadowblood, and we're going to balance the HP. So we proc the extra turn again, which is amazing, which allows us to loop back around to the Divine Yolanda, because we're going to do the same thing again on this lowest health hero or the Marion Shadowblood, because I'm assuming we're going to kill her by the time we get back around, but we're trying to loop back around to the ultimate of Divine Yolanda, so then we can do the same thing with either of these heroes on the other enemies that have high health again. So we're going to get some survivability in here. We're going to heal our heroes up. We will have the morph back up on our Cordelia here in a second, but we can still do some nice damage. Here we're getting our bonus attacks. We don't really need the morph from Cordelia anymore. So what we'll do is, I think we will morph her just so we don't have too much damage dealt to us. But we'll go in here and just get some bonus attacks in, little chip damage here and there. And then once we balance out more of these enemies, we can just finish off. Okay, so here, like I said, we have the balance. So we'll go in and we'll target one of these ravens that has the most HP. So this one has a little bit more with the increased damage taken. Balance out the HPs again. And yeah, just kind of rinse and repeat. So we'll have to be a little careful on the splash damage, but because we have so much time left in the round, even if we ended up killing these heroes, we can basically be sure that the morph and all the bonus attacks are going to kill this hero anyway. So that's how you one key with Divine Yolanda and Cordelia, which is what I was saying in any of these tier lists on how important these heroes have been, right? So we'll finish this out, and then we'll close out the video on ancient relics. So I hope this helped you guys out, understanding a little bit, the specific teams and why this strategy is so important and why it works. And hopefully you guys can end up progressing in this game mode. So I wish you all the best luck. So we got lucky with Divine Yolanda's A2 there, and we'll just clear out this relic. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it gave you a little bit of an idea on the power of Guan Yu, Cordelia, and Divine Yolanda. And good luck on your Guild versus Environment Relic tutorial here. And happy hunting. See ya.